Alright guys, so this is a pretty complicated sentence this week. I didn't even realize it until I had picked it out. Now, the reason I did pick this sentence is because we still need to work on recognizing our quotation rules, our quotation punctuation rules. So whenever we are looking at our quotation punctuation, we always need to look for the comma, because the comma is saying, ooh, there's a statement coming up. Somebody's saying this out loud. So the comma is supposed to draw the attention to it. And then we have our quotation marks before the first word that somebody says out loud. Then they have the whole sentence that they say out loud. There needs to be some sort of punctuation. Because the quote is the very end of the sentence, we can either put a period, a question mark, or an exclamation point. We do not put a comma because then that would make it seem like there's more to come, and there's not. It's the end. So in this case, they just want to put a period there. And that's totally fine. Then we finish out with our quotation marks. So I really need you guys to start noticing this. This is a problem we keep coming up with over and over and over and over again. We have to make sure that we're showing those punctuation rules. All right, so let's look at this sentence. It is from a book called A Crazy Much Love, and I picked it this week because of Valentine's Day. I thought love was an important topic this week. So the sentence says, "We hug you tighter than tight and say, so much that it spills out the windows and busts down the doors." So these statements are referring to love, like how much do you love me? And it says so much that it spills out the windows and busts down the doors. Now that is definitely a hyperbole. There is no way that love is taking a form. Love is actually what we're calling an abstract noun. Even though it's not exactly in the sentence, it's what the sentence is about. Love is an abstract noun. And that's because it's called abstract, just like abstract art that you've probably talked about with Miss Hudson or any of the other art teachers that you may or may not have had. When it's abstract, it means that it's not so clear. It means that it could be something that's hard to explain, like love, for instance. We all know what love feels like, but we have love that feels like in different ways. And that love could be different in different situations, just like we have friend love and family love and romantic love and earth love, self-love, all sorts of things. And all of those types of love look different. So it's abstract. It's not very clear. It can look very different. Now, what do you think this sentence is? It ends in a period, which could mean that's either declarative or it could be an imperative sentence, so a command. Is it commanding anybody to do anything? We hug you tighter than tight and say so much that it spills out the windows and busts down the doors. Nope, it does not. So this is declarative. All right. Subject and predicate is going to be hard this week because we have the narration, we have the statement. There's just a lot going on. So we're going to look at it. Sorry, I'm trying to keep the camera. Okay, so the first word in the sentence is we. We is replacing the name of the people. It's the parents, but instead of saying the parents hug the person tighter, this is going to be a pronoun. It says we hug you. You replaces the name of the character in the book. So that's also a pronoun. Let's see if there's anything else that's a pronoun in here. So we've got we, you, tighter than tight, and say, so much that it replaces the love. So it replaces the word love, so that's also a pronoun. Spills out the windows and busts down the doors. Okay, so we've got all of our pronouns, I believe. We might come across one later if I was just reading the sentence a little fast. Okay, so next up it says we hug. Hug is an action, so that is a verb. We hug. We hug you tighter than tight. Okay, so we have tighter and then tight. So tight is an adjective. But what were those adjectives? Sorry, I added a whole little tail to the end. What were those adjectives with the ER? There was ER and EST. They were called comparative, so it compares. And then there's also superlatives. Superlative would be like the best. So tighter than tight. To me, that is a comparison of tighter and then tight. So that is a comparative adjective. Love it that we've got that in there. Tighter than tight. That is a preposition because it positions tighter over the tight. Preposition. And is a conjunction. Combines two different pieces of a sentence. And say. Say is another verb. It's an action. So we hug and we say. So we is one of the subjects, and then hug, then say. So I'm just going to put a quote, a parentheses, because they didn't exactly say we again. They didn't repeat that, but we know that that's who's doing the saying. It's we. Okay, so much. Okay, much is describing the amount of love. So this is an adjective. And so it's kind of in the place of describing the much. How much? So much. So because it's describing an adjective, that makes it an adverb. It's an adverb. And so an adjective describes nouns. So the much is describing the love. And the so is describing the much. Any word that describes something other than a noun is pretty much usually going to be an adverb. So even though it's not describing a verb, it's describing another adjective. That is an adverb. That it spills, that is a verb. And it's happening right now, so that would be a present tense verb technically. Out the windows. Out positions where it's happening. So it's a preposition. The is an article. It's simple. Out the windows. That is a plural noun. Because there's not just one window. There is more than one. And is a conjunction. Remember? So it's combining these two ideas. It conjoins out the windows and bust down the doors. Conjunction. Busts is another verb. Down the doors. So down is positioning how it's happening to the doors. So it's our preposition again. The is an article again. And doors, it's a noun. But there's more than one, so it's plural. A plural noun. Alright, so I guess that wasn't as hard as I was making it sound, but so with the other sentence, with the quote, it is spilling and it is busting. So we could say it spills and it in parentheses because it doesn't repeat it again. Busts. So we hug, we say, it spills, it busts. Alright guys, crazy little sentence this week, but we are done.